Big deal because the head coach isn't going to be that involved with that side of the ball. This is a bigger deal than it would be in a lot of other places.
I don't know if we can say that either. He hasn't been as involved with that side of the ball because of the choices that he made. I wonder if now we'll see Eberflus take a more serious look at what's going on with his offense. And once he hires a defensive coordinator, might it make his life easier to play a role on the offense?
Maybe. I think he still has to figure that out, especially after what happened last year. I think he's at his most comfortable when he is essentially a defensive coordinator with a head coach title.
Right, but you still need to have some of that. Someone needs to be able, and it can't just be, Phil Snow or Al Snow or whatever, Jon Snow, whatever. It can't just be him at his desk. There does need to be someone who can understand install, that understands what it is that you want the game plan to do, and then go out and help teach it while you're working on other things. I do think that there was a time crunch, and Matt Eberflus even alluded to it when he was talking to people at the end of the year. There's not enough hours in the day if you're going to try and do both of those jobs. So if you want to get back to CEOing and be the game day play caller, which I have no problem with at all, you need to have someone take some of this responsibility off your plate and then maybe keep a closer eye on your offense. Because I do think that I think on the list of things that went wrong with the Bears offense, Eberflus having to focus on, covering the work that needed to be done by his fired defensive coordinator played a role in why the offense looked the way that it did.
So let's meet Shane Waldron, who has let's say it, an impressive resume.
Absolutely.
He's absolutely qualified for the job. He is known as a bright guy, and he's from a small town in Oregon. He went to boarding school at Phillips Academy and then played college football at Tufts. He was a tight end and long snapper. So, he was a jumbo, a Tufts jumbo. I visited Tufts. It was not for me, but it's
Is their mascot? What's their mascot? Is it an elephant?
I think, yeah. The Jumbos.
But I want is there an actual mascot?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I like this idea.
I knew it was not quite a fit for me, but it's a wonderful school. So he played college football there. He was an operations.
It is. Yes, very much so.
It's an effluent.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jumbo? The Jumbo? I would think.
Jumbo the elephant. Since 1885, their mascot Jumbo has inspired and encouraged everyone who wears the brown and blue. That's according to Tufts University website.
It was a male African elephant that was owned by P.T. Barnum, who was a trustee and benefactor.
So at one point they had an actual elephant?
It is the actual Jumbo.
Yeah.
The famous, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was actually P.T. Barnum's famous Jumbo the elephant. Like the first famous elephant. Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Well, now you know. And then Shane Waldron.
Knowing's half the battle.
He was an operations intern for the Patriots for 2 seasons. He was a grad assistant at Notre Dame, tight ends coach of the Patriots. He was the wide receivers coach of the Hartford Colonials, offensive coordinator for Buckingham Brown and Nichols School, which is a day school in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
He seems to like that.
Tight ends coach at UMass, offensive line coach at UMass.
How was he not hired for a baseball front office job?
Because that's not Amherst.
It might as well be. He's got everything else. He's got UMass. He's got Tufts. He's got boarding school. That screams out baseball executive in the teens and 20s.
Offensive quality control coach for Washington, the Rams tight ends coach in 2017, the Rams passing game coordinator in 2018. He was promoted to passing game coordinator and quarterbacks coach in 2019, then pass game coordinator for the Rams in 2020. I don't know if that's a demotion, and offensive coordinator for the Seahawks starting in 2021 up until now.
He has a very layered and varied experience as a coach, which I like. There's a bunch of different position groups in here. And if you understand more position groups, I think that it leads you to be a better OC.
Now, all that said, someone else, if right now you want to actually do the academic background and resume of Matt Patricia, we could say the same things and say, oh, wow, look at this, look at this, look at this. Can he coach? No, he's an idiot. Oh, okay.
Right.
He's terrible at everything he touches.
Right.
Okay, fine. So it's just understand that we can tell you all these things, and this is a classic case of being well qualified on paper.
We learned, by the way, this morning, Matt Patricia, out. He gone.
Oh, yes, very much so.
He is.
But he's out of contract.
He's
He
out of
wasn't fired.
contract. He's.
Oh, they
waiting
didn't
to
want to.
see.
They weren't jumping at the chance to bring him back. huh?
I'm sure he'll wait to see where Bill Belichick ends up and then beg him for a job.
Do we know where Waldron is during games?
I had not thought about it. I know that's a big thing for you.
It is.
I feel like I've seen him in the booth.
I like booth guys. I like detached booth guys rather than on the sidelines look head coachy guys. Look at me. I look like a head coach. You're seeing me here. I want to be seen because I want people to get close-ups of me.
So in
Uh-oh.
2021, he was calling plays from the sideline.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out if that changed.
But wouldn't that track with what Sean King told us? Trying to be seen. Here's a story from NBC Bay Area. Here's what they said. Whether it be in the booth or the field, a quote from Waldron. We're going to keep working through that. We're going to go on the field to start thinking about going in the booth. In my mind, it's what's best for our team. We're going to take a couple of different things in terms of what's coming up here and make a final decision as the season approaches.
The use of the royal we is interesting. I don't know if he means he and Pete Carroll were going to talk about it. I'm not sure.
I think he's probably in a booth. Right? It's a booth guy instead of a look at me guy, dig me guy. 'Cause that's what you are if you're on the field coordinator.
Yeah, by the way, when it comes to that, it was Sean King was on with us talking about what runs through his mind when he sees coordinators who want to be on the sidelines.
Because here's what happens with these coordinators, and I don't know if the public really knows this. When a coordinator has aspirations of being a head coach, they always want to be on the sideline because they think that makes them look like a future head coach. But I'm with you. You know, I had this situation in USF, and we had a guy, he just couldn't see it from the sideline, but he wanted to be a head coach so he wouldn't go in the booth.
That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll find out. I'm sure that'll be one of the questions. And, look at me. I'm calling plays. I got a play sheet. Look at this. I'm over here.